Hello everyone, Frank Cates here, tasting room manager at Cinnabar Winery. I'm here today with our winemaker, George Torquato. George, another new release here for Cinnabar. This is our 2011 Petite Sirah from Paso Robles. Is this a vineyard designate, George?
Yeah, it is, Frank. Petite Sirah, we've been getting it from the Solana Vineyards for about 5-6 years. It's in the San Miguel region. Neat spot. It's about 1,000 feet elevation. Gets lots of cool breezes. The soils are really deep black loam. Just a great spot for Petite Sirah because I think it gets those warm days. The wind picks up about 3 o'clock, really cools it down. So it ends up with wines that are very dark and rich, but with really smooth, supple tannins. So that's really what I love about the Solana Vineyard.
Fantastic. Well, I'll tell you, let's get our nose right into this and see what we...
I get sort of classic Petite Sirah. Lots of black fruit.
Getting a little like a dark black tea and tobacco kind of aroma.
Yeah, exactly. I think a little bit of, what do you think, a little bit of black pepper in it too?
Oh, yeah, that's a classic element to a good Petite
Yeah.
Sirah, I think. Always that black pepper spice.
Yeah, maybe even a little bit of white pepper possibly.
Yeah, it's good to taste.
Big mouthfeel, kind of a sturdy wine, I'd say, very sturdy. But again, lots of dark fruit.
Blackberry.
A lot of blackberry. Not as jammy as a typical vintage. 2011 was a very cool year. So I'm seeing wines with a little tighter structure. What I mean by tighter, it's not so jammy and sort of fat. It's a little tighter in that it's a little more restrained.
I've noticed a lot of Petite Sirahs sometimes can be a little over the top, and I've noticed your style with Petite Sirah in particular is a little more restrained and structured and elegant.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to characterize it. I think sometimes some petites can be what I call sort of rough and tumble, kind of a rustic style. Or some can be over the top, jammy, ripe, almost pruny. And I try to sort of skirt the balance between the two. Try to bring a little elegance into the wine, at the same time not have it so overripe and jammy that it loses sort of its characteristic. So I think, yeah, it's a good sort of description of how a lot of petites are. So let me tell you a little bit about this wine. Being a cool vintage, we picked it later than normal. We picked it in October. Normally we pick Petite Sirah in September. And then we kept this wine about 18 months at oak. And it's primarily French oak. It's about 30% new. And what I'm looking for is really sort of develop the tannins, because Petite Sirah can have some real tight tannins. But this wine, I think, is really drinking nicely right now.
I think it's ready to taste, have a glass with dinner tonight.
Yeah, let's break out the pizza,
There we go.
Pizza and Petite Sirah, This is 100% Petite Sirah. Sometimes we'll put a little bit of Viognier, a white grape, just to kind of help with the aromatics. Sometimes you can put in possibly a little Zinfandel, but this is 100% Petite Sirah.
Well, I think that was a good choice. This wine's drinking beautifully right now, and as you said, we can lay it down for a year or two with no problem.
I'm sure.
Well, George, thank you again. Another excellent job.
Well, thank you, Frank.
Cheers.